Today on The Pulse, a bit of a different format. We're introducing a new segment called The Turntable, where we will have roundtable discussions about pertinent issues that affect your business. This segment will always begin with a question. The topic of our first turntable discussion, economic development and the pieces to the puzzle. But first order of business. What does it take to get a Nordstrom around here? Coming up next. Hello, I'm Denise Roberts, and welcome to The Pulse. According to businessdictionary.com, by definition, economic development usually refers to the adoption of new technologies, transition from agriculture-based to industry-based economy, and general improvement in living standards. There's so much to that story, yet it comes down to some very key factors: education, public safety, economic vitality. Joining me now for our first turntable dialogue is the Honorable Angela Alsobrooks, State's Attorney for Prince George's County, Dr. Kevin Maxwell, Chief Executive Officer for Prince George's County Public Schools, and David Iannucci, Assistant Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for Economic Development and Public Infrastructure for Prince George's County Government. Thank you all for being here today.
Thank you.
I use Nordstroms figuratively, but I love Nordstroms. But if all you have to do for me is bring a cheesecake factory here to Prince George's County. So David, I just want to ask you, how do we make that happen here in Prince George's County?
Well, part of the solution are the two individuals I'm sitting here. Public safety and education in Prince George's County are part of the economic development puzzle, and the dramatic improvements we've had in public safety, the amazing work that Dr. Maxwell is doing, all are making it easier for us to sell Prince George's County. So we're going after Nordstrom's and Cheesecake Factory. And if you'll kind of sit back, we might have some good news coming out of the International Conference for Shopping Center Convention. We want to have more quality retail here, and public safety and education and the improvements we're seeing will make that possible.
So Dr. Maxwell, how does education fit into the economic landscape for our county?
So I think it fits in two primary ways. One, I think that quality education systems attract businesses and families to Prince George's County. And then secondly, we prepare students in our schools for the workforce when they graduate. So our high school academies, all of our STEM work, our language work, all of that is very, very important to the economic base.
Angela, how do you think that public safety fits into the economic growth of our county, or how has it impacted the economic growth of our county?
You know, public safety is foundational. I agree with the others that it is foundational, and that investor confidence depends on public safety, strong crime declines, as well as educational advances, and we've worked very hard in the county to ensure that investor confidence would be high as violence has declined.
David, the priorities of the current administration, the Baker administration, they're the same priorities as previous administrations, and more than likely they're going to be the same priorities for future administrations to come. So my question is, or what I'm wondering is, are we following the right model for economic development, or are we missing the mark on anything?
Well, I would argue that under County Executive Baker, we've actually reinvented our strategy in Prince George's County. We're focused on aspects of keeping companies in this county that we're leaving routinely. We're trying to grow our tax base, and we're trying to add jobs. And again, the improvements in education and public safety are making it easier for us to convince companies that if they stay in Prince George's County, not only will they have a great location, metro, beltway, quality workforce, but they'll be able to live here as well, and their kids will be able to go to school and have great schools, and then they'll be in safe streets and so forth. So it is a very different, and it's a very focused strategy under County Executive on particular industry sectors where we think we're going to get the greatest, essentially, growth in our tax base.
Okay, so for our economic growth, when we speak about education, we are the second largest public school system in the state of Maryland, but yet we are ranked second to the bottom. So Dr. Maxwell, you've been in your post for 2 years. What are the issues that you have seen that have kept us in that status for so long?
So quite honestly, we're not investing appropriately in the public education system. You know, we're held to the same standards as surrounding jurisdictions, and yet we are not investing per pupil wise the amount of funds that other school districts are. And so, we've been working on trying to right-size the investment in our public school system, and it's complicated by the fact that for 9 straight years before I got back, the school system declined in enrollment. Yet in my first about 20 months that I've been back, we've grown 3,600 students. So we're getting bigger, and so the more students you have, that underfunding gets multiplied. And so keeping class sizes the right size, making sure that have the programmatic pieces that you need in place and the supports that you need for teachers is all important. And we've got to stop the turnover that we've had, not only at the top of the organization, but in our classrooms. We carry about 9,600 teachers in this very large district, but we've replaced 7,100 of them since the 7-8 school year, and that turnover is just way too high to keep stability in our classrooms and our schools. And so we've got to work on the salary base and the quality of educational services that we provide.
So let me ask you this then. To me, education is almost simple. All you need is caring teachers, well-behaved students, and a classroom. It seems like we already have that in place. So is money, I know that the county executive is proposing, a tax increase to go towards education. Is money really the answer?
Absolutely. Absolutely. When you look again at the investment that we have, I visited every school in this district last year, and you absolutely cannot get the success you want when you have college-level advanced placement teachers carrying class loads of 42 and 43 and teaching multiple classes like that a day. You can't give the students the amount of attention that they need. You can't possibly give the time that you need to grading papers and to making sure that the students have read what they need to read as they prepare for those exams. And that's just one example. Our elementary class sizes are too high. Okay. We don't have anywhere near the recommended amount of mentor teachers for the amount of new teachers that we have every single year. And so, there's a lot of different things that goes to, but we've got some kids that have come in that are way behind on reading and numeracy, and so the expansion of literacy coaches and things are very important to our success.
Really quickly, State's Attorney, could you weigh in on that?
Well, I think that what Dr. Maxwell says is correct, is that we have to invest in our children, and we are investing not only on the educational side, but in public safety as well. And so the school system has been a wonderful partner to allow us in for teen court, where we have students who are exposed to the criminal justice system as lawyers and defense attorneys and judges, but also see a path to not be involved in the criminal justice system. We're working as well with the school system on truancy to make sure that we incentivize school attendance through programs like the I Belong Here program. But it requires that we not only protect children, but that we invest in them, and I think that what Dr. Maxwell is saying is consistent with that.
Okay. Okay, so I know we're going to have to go to break really fast. Don't go away, because we're coming right back to this conversation.
We need a claim number?
When I started taking care of Mom, I didn't realize the challenge of playing so many roles. But above all, I'm still her daughter.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving. We're here to help.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, we are turning the tables on economic development. David, if Prince George's County is open for business, do the businesses know it? We have Fortune 500 companies. There are 4 of them in the state of Maryland. But you go across the Woodrow Wilson Bridge over to Virginia, they have 23. Does that say anything about our strategy here in the county? Are we marketing the county the right way?
Well, we've unveiled a new branding strategy, and that is the intention, to get the message out. Frankly, this type of show is very helpful in terms of getting the message out that things are turning around in Prince George County. We are reinventing Prince George County, whether it's our pursuit of the FBI, which I think we're growing in confidence. We're going to get that $2 billion investment that really completely changed Prince George County, our hospital, the resort casino. All these are part of a massive effort that is really unprecedented in Prince George County to grow the commercial tax base. Right now, now there are, for every 3 residents of the county who have jobs, we only have jobs for 2 of those folks. Okay. And we want to grow the number of jobs in Prince George County, and those enterprises are part of that. And why we want to grow those jobs is to grow a commercial tax base, to create more revenues that'll be available for education and available for public safety. Economic development is in a lot of ways just a means to an end to help the overall economy grow, but to support these critical services.
Dr. Maxwell, can you weigh in on that?
So I think, you know, in terms of the marketing, we too have been working to rebrand ourselves. We've been using the motto "Great by Choice" from Jim Collins' books about companies that have outperformed their peer groups by 10 times. And so we've been, you know, working on that as a way of talking about we can do better. And I think businesses really, when they're looking at a place to locate, they look at, you know, the cost of relocating, but they also look at the quality of schools. And so, you know, trying to make sure that we improve as a school district and do it in a pretty rapid part of time is part of the overall strategy for Prince George's County. Right. But it's definitely central to our work.
Okay. Angela, can you weigh in on this one?
You know what, a 40% decline in homicides in 4 years, a 37% decline in overall violent crime. I think the story is there, and what it says is we're open for business, we're safe, and I love the discussions we're having. The fact that we have discussions now about how do we get Nordstrom's here, even the fact that we're having a conversation about whether or not a property tax would be appropriate to fund schools means that we've progressed in ways that we don't even acknowledge. We're not talking about crime and corruption. Right. We're talking about how to grow our economy, how to create jobs, and how to educate our students. We're having the right discussions, and the county is really moving in a positive, a really, really positive direction.
So that leads me to a question. You know, crime has been coming down for over a decade now. Education, we've been talking about our test scores have been improving for over a decade now, but we still don't have a Nordstrom's. Is there something that we're missing? Is there something, what is it that we're not doing that Montgomery County is doing? Well,
there's difference in the demographics, but it's also, frankly, the county in some ways created some of its own problems. Businesses want to go to places where they can make money, where it's very predictable, where they know what the timeline for permits is going to be, and they can look for a good profit margin. We're in a very wealthy jurisdiction. Out of 3,200 counties in the United States, in the top 20 wealthiest counties, 9 are in this area. We're not one of those 9, but we are in the top 4% of all counties in the United States in terms of income, in terms of buying power. Right. It's a very, very strong demographic, but we're in a region that is one of the wealthiest in the country. But we're now the place where people are looking for access to good land, near metro, near highways. Things have turned around. Prince George County is clearly being identified as a wonderful location. When we go to the International Conference for Shopping Center Convention, it is an entirely different attitude today than it was 4 or 5 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago, we had to chase people down the hall to get them to talk to us. Now they want to come and talk to us, and we're going to have some very, very positive developments. We're already seeing it. Look at Tanger Outlets, one of the most successful Tanger outlets in the United States.
Sure. Okay. Okay. Let's just for 1 second talk about opportunities for local small and minority businesses in the county. The President of the United States argues that, as well as anybody else, that small business is the backbone of any community. Why does it seem like most of the small businesses that are located here have to go outside for the opportunities? Can you address that, David?
Well, I hope that they don't. We have a very strong and aggressive program to give Prince George County-based companies access to major contracts, whether it's at the casino, where there's a very substantial commitment, but also with county contracting. The current requirements are unprecedented. But part of it is the education system as well. I mean, we need people to come out of the schools, and I know Dr. Maxwell is focusing with these skills.
Okay, thank you so much. And we are out of time. Clearly, we're not going to solve these issues in 15 minutes on this show. It is simply designed to start the conversation, a conversation that will continue on this show. Dr. Kevin Maxwell, David Iannucci, and Angela Alsobrooks, thank you so much for your time today. And that is our show for today. Thank you for tuning in. If you missed anything, the show is posted on our website, diversity.mypgc.us, and click on the Pulse. And don't forget to join our small business club while you're there. We're also on Facebook and Twitter at PGC Diversity, and our YouTube channel is The Pulse TV. Next time, you can join us for part 2 of this turntable. Same topic, different panel. Until then, I'm Denise Roberts, and we'll see you next time on The Pulse.